Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Tonight, I'm going to be breaking down last night's 9-game slate. It was a very nice slate of games. A lot of great play we saw. A lot of awesome performances from guys least expected. And the cash line was high as a bitch tonight. I'm talking about, man, it was hard to really get in the money and stay there once you got there, unless you had a couple late night hammers. But we're gonna go with our regular formatting of the show, where I jump into my core four review. As you know, each day I issue out a core of plays, four guys that I start most of my lineups, or all of my lineups actually, with these four guys. They may not all make it into every lineup, but this is where I start. This is my beginning point. This is where, if you ask me who is going to return the best shot at returning 6x value for each guy combined, that are the plays that I'm going to be going with. So we're going to jump into that, man. But I got to reiterate, man, it was a really crazy slate. This is definitely a stars and scrubs slate. Right around, I want to say right around 7, about 30 minutes before lock, because the slate did lock around 7:30 because that's when the first game started. We got the news that there were going to be a lot of guys out in New Orleans, and this automatically shifted so much ownership to guys like Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis, and it also I think it led a lot of players to look for that hidden value, those cheaper guys, so they could really go stars and scrubs and get guys in their lineup that they wouldn't normally have in there. And man, that proved to be my undoing. I ended up breaking even tonight, which is good. I mean, anytime you don't lose, you're good. But I ended up breaking even tonight. It was because I didn't move. When I heard that the information and stuff started coming out, I just didn't move, man. I was so comfortable with this slate. I was very comfortable with the slate. You probably noticed it from the last show that I did, man. I spoke fluidly. Everything was rolling. As soon as I saw a guy, when I did my initial player pool, I knew if I wanted to play him or not. I was very comfortable and totally in tune with the slate. But you've got to go with the ebb and flow of the NBA. Things happen at a moment's notice. I was really counting on Jimmy Butler to be out. That did affect the guy that was in my core four, but he still went out and had a great game. So let's go ahead and jump into that core four review. We're going to start with probably the chalkiest guy on today's slate. He probably was the highest owned in every tournament, in every double up, every GPP, all of them. We're talking about Darren Collison. I liked him because we know that we can exploit the point guard position when it comes to the Atlanta Hawks, and he did just that. At 33% owned, he went out and scored 36.25 DraftKings points. 5.4K was his salary. That was a nice return on that 5.4K investment. So Darren Collison was a really good addition to the core four. This guy I'm going to talk about is TJ Warren. Now, TJ Warren was the head scratcher play. Nobody wanted to play TJ Warren when I told them he was in my core four, but I just felt that he was in a really solid spot. I thought that we might not see Jimmy Butler, which was going to help him, but I still liked him anyway. I liked him anyway, especially around midday. News broke that we weren't going to see Alex Len. He got suspended for coming off of the bench during a little scuffle they had in a previous game. So I knew that we were going to see increased minutes for the Phoenix Suns front court, and I thought that a good beneficiary of that was going to be T.J. Warren, and it proved to be true. At 4% owned, nobody was really on him. 4.8K was his salary. He went out and got you 26.25 DraftKings points. That was a nice return on a very small investment. The next guy I'm going to talk about was a guy that I thought was going to be the chalk. I thought he was going to be one of the highest owned guys on the slate, but he really wasn't. We're talking about Nikola Jokic at 19% in ownership. 9.2K was his salary. He went out and got you 62.75 DraftKings points, damn near 7x on him. That was a really nice return on that investment. And the last guy, not probably, he was the worst play in the core four. We're talking about Goran Dragic, 21% owned. A lot of people were on him. 7.9K. He was priced up in that matchup against the Brooklyn Nets, which I thought was going to be a prime spot for him to blow up. He only brought back 34.5 DraftKings points. Now, this core four at 5x value should have brought us back. Let's go ahead and do that quick mathematics, because I spent 27.3K on this complete core four, and they should have brought back 136.5 DraftKings points at 5x value. Now, at 6x value, we were looking at 159.75 DraftKings points. Well, this core, at 6x value, they would have brought back 163.8 DraftKings points. Well, this core brought back 159.75 DraftKings points, 5.85x, which was really good. Any other night, this is an awesome core four. Any other night, this is a really good one. But on a night like tonight, where there was so much value that opened up right before lock, that good value, like really good value that it turned out to be, this core four, if you rostered the same way I did, you probably had a lineup that scored about 292.5 DraftKings points, so it was good enough to cash. So if you rocked with my core four tonight and you didn't cash, that was kind of on you. The cash line was about 280, so there was no reason why you shouldn't have used this core four and put some solid plays with it and get to the cash line. So really good showing for the core four. I'll take that any day. 5.85x is nothing to shake a stick at. So let's go ahead and jump into the feature for players of the night. These are the four most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS Sweatshop website, as well as the Facebook VIPs and on Twitter. We're going to start with the Who Dat scoring all them points over there player tonight. This is a guy that somebody asked me about earlier. Man, are you playing this guy? I was like, nah, I'm not really on him. Well, motherfucker, I should have been. Because at 2% owned, he scored 47.75 DraftKings points at 3K. That's right, minimum salary. I'm talking about Ben McLemore. If you had him, man, you were sharp, definitely. That's why he's tonight's Who Dat scoring all them points over there. Player tonight. Awesome game we saw from Ben McLemore. The next guy I'm going to talk about is the How Did I Miss That Play tonight? And this goes back to the stuff that we heard come out of the New Orleans Pelicans organization. When we saw that they were only going to be dressing up like 8 guys to play. I mean, this should have really put us on guys like Jrue Holiday, Anthony Davis. We should have been on Solomon Hill. We should have been on not Montañones because he had a horrible game. But we should have been on a lot of guys from New Orleans, which would have allowed us to pay up in other spots. So Jrue Holiday is the How Did I Miss That Play today? How the fuck did I miss Jrue Holiday? At 11% owned, he scored 58 DraftKings points at 7.8K. So he was right there at the same price point as Goran Dragic. Put him in the core four, man. I have an excellent night. So next player we're going to talk about is the Heat Check player tonight. This can only go to one player. This dude damn near had a quadruple double. He scored like 4 points, but he had 10 steals, 12 assists, 10 rebounds. I mean, the dude had an excellent game. You're talking about Draymond Green, man. A 14% ownership, so the ownership was down on him. 67.5 DraftKings points, led all DraftKings scores in points, and the price point on him was 7.5K. That was an excellent return on that investment. Now we got to talk about that one motherfucker. This is a guy that probably ruined a ton of lineups. He was 10% owned, was in a really good matchup, we felt, against the Milwaukee Bucks. And we're talking about Brandon Ingram, man. Tonight, Brandon, 4.4K, 10% owned. He scored 4 points. So what that tells me is that your ownership was higher than your your DraftKings score, and your salary was higher than your DraftKings score. So that means you ran off on the plug twice in one motherfucking slate. How you do that? Man, you was a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster your young ass again. I just ain't gonna do it. He's damn near dead to me, man. That was a horrible showing. How the fuck you go out 4.4K? Honest, good salary. Something that we can use. Because you're always there. You're always sitting there. Whenever we like, damn, I got 4.5K left. Who's like, oh, Brandon Ingram. It looks like a good matchup all the time. It always looks like a good price for you. They price you right. And you go out and you got to do shit but bring back a measly ass 25, 26 DraftKings points. And you go out at 10% ownership and you score 4 fucking points, 2 points and 2 rebounds. Get the fuck out of this motherfucker. This is crazy. You a motherfucking snowflake, Brandon, with your snowflake ass. And I ain't going to roster your ass again. That's it. I'm done. I'm not fucking with Brandon Ingram anymore. Now, let's go ahead and jump into my very best DraftKings lineup. And I do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want you to know that the guys that I'm talking about are the guys I'm playing. I am a honest DFS player. I'm not one of those people that's going to misdirect you, tell you to play this guy, and I don't play him, or don't tell you to play this guy, and that's the guy that I'm on. I like to share the guys that I'm playing. You can play them if you want to, or do whatever you want to do with it. But the reason why I do this is so that you can see that I am an honest, profitable player. So let's go ahead and jump to my very best DraftKings lineup. I did hit the 300 club a couple times tonight, but on a night like tonight, where the cash line was just so high, those 300 lineups, all they did was pay for the 270 lineups that just barely missed the cash line. So it wasn't a bad night, but man, it could have been so much better had we went out and rostered according to the news that broke later on. Now, you can tell I had this lineup in a couple different spots. This is a lineup that kind of helped save my night and get that buy-in back because I was behind going into the late games. Start this lineup. I wanted a piece of John Wall. I really thought he was in a really great spot. As you can see, there are going to be a couple of guys. This started off as a core 4 lineup. Darren Collison here, T.J. Warren, Jokic was a really nice play. But I like Klay Thompson. He's a guy that we talked about in the midday mix when we talked about that at Golden State and the Golden State and Memphis Grizzlies game. So I did like Klay Thompson. He went out and had a nice game, brought back 45 DraftKings points. James Johnson was the guy that we all were on, and he brought back 45.5 DraftKings points. Of course, we had John Wall. Didn't exactly do what I thought he was going to do. John Wall was in line for a huge game, a really huge game. Going against Jeff Teague defense, I really thought that this could be that big John Wall game that we see a few times during the season. He scored 53.75 DraftKings points. Not bad at all. 5x value on a salary that high. You can't really argue with that. Michael Beasley was here at 25.25 DraftKings points, and the snowflake in this lineup was C.J. Miles. I thought that I could use him, to give me a very cheap, 20, 25 DraftKings points. He had been playing pretty well lately, had a few good games in a row. I thought I could depend on him here, but this lineup finished with 304.5 DraftKings points. Not a great showing on a night like tonight where the cash line was so high, but it was solid and it did definitely help me to win back my buy-in and to break even on the evening. The next highest DraftKings score here, let me show you this one. I had this one in a couple spots as well. This lineup finished with 297 DraftKings points. This was another John Wall lineup. I like Kawhi Leonard all day long. He was somebody that we talked about, and I kind of figured the ownership was going to be low on him. I did get the piece of the New Orleans Pelicans situation with Dante Cunningham. Of course, Darren Collison was in there. Jokic was in there. I like the spot that Reggie Jackson was in. We also talked a lot about Julius Randle, where he was at. Darrell Arthur was also in this lineup. And this one finished with 297 DraftKings points. So I had a fairly decent night. Didn't make anything, but I didn't lose anything. And whenever you can say you didn't lose, you went in and didn't lose, that's good. I still have my money to play with tomorrow. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into a quick recap of last night's 9 games. The reason why we do that is so that we can know where we're going by looking back to where we've been already. And some of you may not be like me. You may not have the opportunity to watch every NBA game, to really see guys play, and have that look at guys, because nothing beats the eye test, man. We can regurgitate stats to you all day and all night, but until you actually see guys perform on the floor, that's the best way to really get a good read on what you can expect when you're looking to roster guys. So we're going to start in Brooklyn, where the Miami Heat were being hosted by the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to start on the Miami side with Rodney McGruder. He played 34 minutes. That is a ton of minutes for a guy that's not that good. And you end up scoring a pretty fair amount of points. I believe he had 31 DraftKings points. He had 11 real-life points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and 4 steals while shooting 41% from the field. Pretty good game there. Hassan Whiteside, what a horrible fucking game for that dude. That dude is dead to me, bro. I'm not playing him anymore. I'm not playing Hassan. I didn't play him today. I didn't play him at all today. But I just know I'm not looking at this dude going forward, man. 25 minutes, he had 8 points, 9 boards, 1 steal, and 4 blocks while shooting 30% from the field. And the whole time just looked unspirited, like he just did not want to play. He just looked like he didn't want to play. It was bad. Like I wish the All-Star break would hurry up, man. I just don't want to play anymore. That's what he looked like. Goran Dragic in 34 minutes had 21 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal, and he got off to a very slow start. And I think that is what caused him to not really perform in the manner that I thought he would. Tyler Johnson in 36 minutes had 18 and 6 to go with 2 assists and 3 steals. Pretty good game there. James Johnson was actually a really nice play in this game. 26 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks, shooting 64% from the field. And there was a point in the game where Dragic was inbounding the ball to James Johnson, and James Johnson was like running the fucking point. Like, I was totally confused and baffled by what I saw, but it worked because he had the ball at the top of the key, was handling the ball, and they won the game. So it was a very weird thing. If this is something that we can see going forward, we've got to continue to take looks at James Johnson doing what he's doing now. Okaro White in 30 minutes had 10 points, 5 boards, 1 assist. That was a pretty decent game for him at that really low price point. And we didn't see much from Willie Reed or Wayne Ellington, who got the start in this game. He played 24 minutes, had 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. On the Brooklyn Nets side, saw a really nice game from Brook Lopez, man. This dude had like 13 points in the first quarter. He finished with 30 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks while shooting 58% from the field, hit 1 of 3 3-point shots, got to the line 12 times, converted 9 of those tries into points, and did all that in 30 minutes. Really good game there from him. We saw a nice one from Randy Foye. In 25 minutes, he had 15 and 1 with 2 assists while shooting 55% from the field, hit 1 of 2 3-point shots, and converted all 4 of his free throw tries. Trevor Booker came off of the bench. Not a great game there. He had 8 points, 10 boards, and 1 assist while shooting 57% from the field. And we really didn't see much from anybody else in this game, man. We saw, Bojan Bogdanovic had 10 points and 6 rebounds. Not a great game there from him. And Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, another one of his usual games where he gets 5 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals while shooting 33% from the field. Not a great game there from him. The next game we're going to talk about is my New York Knicks at the Garden in the highest point total game of the night. This game lived up to the hype as being one of those big scoring games because neither one of these teams play very good defense. And that was exhibited all throughout this game. We're going to start. Now, they did something funny. I think, it came out of Denver first that they weren't going to be starting Will Barton. They were going to be starting Darrell Arthur. And that kind of took some ownership away from Will Barton because guys want people that are starting. So that kind of threw a monkey wrench and actually increased his tournament power by not giving him that start and taking people off of him. That definitely increased the tournament power of Will Barton. Now, we saw a really good game from Jameer Nelson, man. He doubled in 35 minutes, had 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 12 assists. And we talked about him earlier. I just did not know who to start at point guard in this game. I didn't know if it was going to be Jamal Murray coming off the bench. I didn't know if Jameer Nelson was going to play well. I didn't know if they were going to do a lot of Gary Harris. I just didn't want to take the time. And I knew there were certain spots for sure that I wanted to go. Everybody that I rostered in this game on either side had a good game. And that's just what happens when you have a point total that's this high and actually lived up to that billing. Nikola Jokic in 36 minutes had 40 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. And it was at a point in the night I was like, fuck yeah. Jokic in the court for fuck yeah. We cashing out tonight. But while I'm saying that, Draymond's over there scoring 4 points and stealing every motherfucking ball. Rebounding, assists. That's crazy. Crazy slate tonight. Wilson Chandler was a really nice play. 36 minutes for him. He had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks while shooting 64% from the field. Hit 1 of 2 3-point shots. That was a really good game there. Darrell Arthur had 13 and 3 to go with 2 assists and hit 55% from the field, shooting 3 of 6 from behind the arc. Really nice game there. And Will Barton came off of the bench and scored 15 points, grabbed 10 boards, had 4 assists and 2 blocks while shooting 40% from the field. Pretty good game we saw from him. On the New York Knicks side of the ball, Carmelo had a nice one, man. 33 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals while shooting 13 of 20. Yes, that's 65% from the field. Hit 6 of 10 3-point shots. Really good game we saw from Carmelo Anthony. Courtney Lee in 31 minutes had a nice game. 15 and 3 to go with 4 assists and 2 steals. We saw a nice one from Brandon Jennings. He got the start at shooting guard and scored 6 points, 2 rebounds, 13 assists, 1 steal. Had a really nice peripheral game, but just didn't score very much. We saw a nice one from Carlo Quinn, 16 and 6 with 3 assists and 4 blocks. And Willie Hernangomez, again, disappointed. He only played 8 minutes, had 12 points and 4 rebounds. Not a great game there from him. Justin Holiday in 20 minutes had 9 and 2 to go with 2 assists and 2 steals while shooting 37% from the field. Not a great game from him. And Derrick Rose snowflaked the fuck out in 27 minutes. He had 13 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. Not a great game we saw from Derrick Rose. Next game I'm going to talk about is Detroit Pistons at home taking on the San Antonio Spurs. I really like Kawhi Leonard all day, man, but I'm going to tell you who I should have liked. God damn, Dwayne Dedmon. He started at center, played 31 minutes, had 17 points and 17 rebounds, also 1 steal and 2 blocks. An awesome game. The dude shot 80% from the field, got to the foul line once, knocked it down. This dude had an awesome game, man. Kawhi Leonard in 32 minutes had 32 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal while shooting 11 for 22 from the field. And LaMarcus Aldridge doubled in his 32 minutes, had 19 and 11 with 1 steal and 2 blocks. Pretty good game there. David Lee also chipped in 11 points to go with 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Pretty good game you saw from him. And Tony Parker didn't score much, but he did have 12 assists, 1 rebound to go with those 2 points that he scored. On the Detroit Pistons side, we saw a small double-double from Andre Drummond, just like I expected. He had 12 points, 15 boards, and 3 steals to go with the block. Not a great game from him. He shot 29% from the field. And this dude don't shoot jumpers, so he was missing layups all night long. Not a great game there from him. Marcus Morris, in his 28 minutes, had 10 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, and 1 steal while shooting 40% from the field. Not a great game from him. We saw a nice one off of the bench for Ish Smith, 15 and 3 to go with 4 assists and 2 blocks while shooting 66% from the field. Hit the only 3-point shot he took. That was a really nice game there. And Reggie Jackson, at that really low price point, he was 4.9K. Didn't have to do much to make value. He did that, had 12 points, 1 rebound, 7 assists, 1 steal, while shooting 38% from the field, hit 2 of 4 3-point shots. Next game, we're going to talk about Milwaukee Bucks at home without Jabari Parker. Shout out to Jabari Parker, man. Guy took a horrible injury, man. Get well, Jabari. Start on the Lakers side, but Brandon Ingram, the snowflake of the night, played 20 minutes, had 2 points, 2 rebounds. Let's move the fuck on. That dude, I'm not playing that dude anymore. Julius Randle did not disappoint us. The price point was low on him at 5.4. 29 minutes, he had 15 and 7 to go with 2 assists, 1 steal, while shooting 50% from the field. Hit 3 of 6 free throws. Pretty good game there from him. We saw a nice one from Nick Young. When Swaggy P is knocking down 3-point shots and you ain't got him in your lineup, that's when you know you're in for a long night. Swaggy P in 28 minutes had 26 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, shot 72% from the field, hit 5 of 8 3-point shot, and that dude is a fucking chucker, man. D'Angelo Russell, not a great game, 14 and 3 with 5 assists and 1 steal. Larry Nance Jr. had 11 and 5 with 3 assists and 1 steal in his 28 minutes. Zubac even got to the action. He had 15 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, and 1 block. And it's safe to say that Timothy Mozgov is not a part of this rotation. This dude was a DNP, coach's decision. Did not play at all. 1 minute. Jordan Clarkson in 21 minutes had 11 and 4 assists to go with 1 steal. And Sweet Luke Williams chipped in 21 points in 19 minutes. He also had 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 1 steal. On the Milwaukee side of the ball, we talked about this earlier today, man. I was like, yo, do not get so caught up in the other cats on this team when we talk about the Milwaukee Bucks that you fail to realize how good of a spot that Giannis is going to be in with Jabari Parker out. This dude is going to be in an awesome spot for the rest of the year because nobody else is going to be able to do anything. He's going to have to do everything, and he can't. He can't. He led the team in minutes. He had 41 minutes, 41 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Shot 55% from the field. He did take 6 3-point shots and only hit 1, but the dude got to the line 21 times. Man, he hit 20. He shot 21 free throws. He hit 18 of them. That was an excellent game we saw from him tonight. Very, very good game we saw from Giannis Antetokounmpo. Malcolm Brogdon in 26 minutes had 18 and 2 with 3 assists and 1 steal. And the only other guy that's worth mentioning on this entire roster was Michael Beasley. In 23 minutes, he had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block while shooting 66% from the field. That was a really nice showing there for Michael Beasley. Next game, I'm going to talk about the Golden State Warriors going to Memphis, to the Grindhouse, to take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's go ahead and jump into the Golden State side, man. And I'm going to start with the Heat check play tonight. Draymond Green, this dude played 37 minutes. He led the team in minutes. He had 4 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 steals. Also had 5 blocks. This was one of the best performances I've seen all year. He only took 6 shots. He hit 2 of them. So he was shooting 33% from the field. And he knows if his jump shot is not going down, he'll just stop shooting and just do everything else that he can do to help the team win. And that's why he has these crazy good but weird stat lines. Awesome game there from him. Klay Thompson led the team in scoring. In 37 minutes, he had 36 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, while shooting 13 of 23 from the field. He had 8 of 15 three-point shots. Klay was on fire tonight. Andre Iguodala off of the bench played 28 minutes. He had 22 points with 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks while shooting 85% from the field. Hit 2 of 3 three-point shots. Really good game there. Didn't see a great game from Steph Curry at that price point. That needs to come down. That price needs to come down on him. In 34 minutes, Steph had 18 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, while shooting 46% from the field, hit 2 of 6 3-point shots. Not a great game there from him. Kevin Durant, he chipped in 24 points and had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. A fairly decent game, but just not that huge, almost 10K guy game that you need when you pay that much for Kevin Durant. Let's move on to the Memphis side. Mike Conley, man, a really solid game for Mike Conley. The price was down on him at about 7.3K. We knew that we could attack the Golden State Warriors at the point guard position. He scored 20 points, had 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals. Really good game there. Now, the funny thing is Zach Randolph, who just didn't play the other day, he just didn't play. You know, he was injured or whatever. He comes out, jumps off of the bench, and quickly scores 17 points and grabs 13 boards. Double-doubles, also with an assist, shooting 55% from the field. Like, what the fuck? JaMychal Green didn't do shit all game. 21 minutes, he had 5 points and 7 boards. Horrible game from him. James Ennis had 10 and 1 to go with the steal. And Marc Gasol had 17 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 28% from the field. Not a great game we saw from Marc Gasol shooting the ball. Next game I'm going to talk about, Minnesota Timberwolves at home against the New Orleans Pelicans. And when I saw all of those injury things and all that shit come out of New Orleans, I was like, man, this team is going to be gassed. They're going to be playing so many minutes. I'm not fucking with them. And that's exactly what I should have did. Jrue Holiday, 37 minutes for him. He had 25 points, 6 rebounds, 12 assists, and 5 steals while shooting 71% from the field. Awesome game there. We saw from Jrue Holiday. We even saw a nice one from Anthony Davis. In 36 minutes, he had 42 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block, shooting 72% from the field. Good game we saw from him. Dante Cunningham had 12 and 4 with 1 assist and 1 block. And Solomon Hill had 7 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 25% from the field. Not a great shooting game, but the price was so low on him. He was around minimum salary. That was a really good game, really good return on investment. Buddy Hield in 21 minutes has 17 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist while shooting 70% from the field. And this team shot really well from the field. That's why they were able to win this game fairly handily. On the Minnesota Timberwolves side, Gorgui Dieng got started off to a really nice game. He started off really hot in the first quarter. He had a handful of points, but he only finished the game. He finished the game with only 8 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 steals. Andrew Wiggins had a really nice one scoring the basketball. He had 29 points with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals while shooting 64% from the field. Karl-Anthony Towns, not a great game there from him. 36 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. He could not get on the boards for shit. He just couldn't. Rick Rubio was actually the player of this game. In 39 minutes, he had 15 points, 1 rebound, 12 assists, and 4 steals. Pretty good game we saw from ravishing Rick Rubio. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Washington Wizards at home in the nation's capital, taking on the Indiana Pacers. On the Pacers side, Paul George was a decent play. He had 31 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block while shooting 52% from the field. Pretty nice game there. LeBoy Allen had 10 and 5 to go with a steal. Miles Turner disappointed in his 30 minutes. He only had 10.7 boards, 3 assists, and a block. And we also saw a kind of disappointing game from Jeff Teague. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, shooting 33% from the field. And he was somebody that just was not on at all. Kevin Seraphin was actually the play in this game off of the bench. He had 16 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, and 2 blocks, shooting 80% from the field. And the homie, Al Jefferson, chipped in 6 and 8 with 1 assist in his 17 minutes. On the Washington Wizards side, Otto Porter, man, stank up the joint for 24 minutes. He had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals while shooting 42% from the field. We saw a really nice game from Markieff Morris, another guy that was just injured, comes back in the starting lineup and just balls the fuck out. 26 points, 10 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, shooting 61% from the field, hit 3 of 6 3-point shots. Bradley Beal chipped in 20 points. He also had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And we saw a good game from Marcin Gortat. In 34 minutes, he had 14 points, 16 boards, 1 assist, and 1 block while shooting 58% from the field. John Wall, in 36 minutes, had 26 points, 3 rebounds, and 14 assists to go with the 2 steals, shooting 43% from the field in his 36 minutes. Pretty good game we saw from John Wall. Next game we're going to talk about is the Sacramento Kings at home, taking on the Atlanta Hawks. This was probably the closest game, down to the wire game that we saw this evening, man. And we saw the Sacramento Kings, come back from a 22-point deficit to win this game. A really nice game we saw from a lot of those cats. Tim Hardaway Jr., man, finally is starting to really pique my interest, man. I'm sorry I'm so late to the party, because dude just chipped in 28 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in 36 minutes, shot 52% from the field, hit 3 of 9 3-point shots. Dude had a really nice game. Paul Millsap, happy birthday, Paul Millsap. In 38 minutes, he had 25 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Not a great game from him. Dwight Howard, shitty game. Only had 6 points, 11 boards, 1 steal, and 1 block. And this dude was crying like a fucking baby all day long. Like, it's almost like him and Boogie are the 2 biggest crybabies in the NBA. When they play each other, it's like a crying contest. It was bad. It was very bad. Dennis Schroeder, in his 33 minutes, had 20 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal while shooting 50% from the field. And on the Sacramento side, Ben McLemore, man, who that scoring all them points over there play tonight. Dude hit 6 of 10 3-pointers. He had 22 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, 4 steals. And is that what it's going to be while Ty Lawson is not playing? Are we going to just see a lot of Ben McLemore? Darren Collison, 43 minutes, leading the team, had 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists to go with 2 steals. Shot 50% from the field. Pretty good game there. We saw a nice one from Anthony Tolliver in 25 minutes. He had 15 and 3 with 1 assist. And Matt Barnes had 5 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block, with Boogie rounding everything out. He was on a triple-double watch at a point in the game. He had 22 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, while shooting 35% from the field. That was not a very good shooting day for Boogie. He took 8 threes, man. Only hit 2 of them. Boogie, stop shooting all them motherfucking threes, man. Get your ass down there and bang. Last game on the slate is going to be the Phoenix Suns. Now, Chicago side, I didn't think we were going to see Jimmy Butler, and that's why I like TJ Warren so much. But I still liked him anyway. So the Butler news broke. He comes out, plays 30 minutes, scores 20 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, shooting 37% from the field. Did not hit a 3-point shot. He took 3 of them. Not a great game there. Dwayne Wade chipped in 18 and 6 boards to go with 3 assists and 2 blocks. Nice game for him, I guess. We also saw Taj Gibson for 26 minutes. He had 10 and 6 while shooting 50% from the field. And Robin Lopez had 12 and 7 in his 23 minutes. Not a great game there for him. On the Phoenix Suns side, a couple guys had a really decent game. TJ Warren, we talked about him. He was a core 4 member. He had 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks, shooting 47% from the field. Dude was on the court the entire game. After we saw the injury to Tyson Chandler that we need to be checking up on, dude was just on the court. Because we also had Marcus Chris in foul trouble. He played 21 minutes, had 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 block. Devin Booker chipped in 27 points, led the team in scoring. He also had 5 rebounds and 4 assists while shooting 52% from the field. And Eric Bledsoe had a decent game at that price point, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, and a block, shooting 47% from the field, hit 1 of 3 3-point shots, converted 4 of 5 free throws into points. And the story of this game was Allen Williams, man. This is a guy, if you've been playing since the beginning of the season, when we didn't have Tyson Chandler for a stretch, Allen Williams was balling out. And when the Alex Len news broke earlier, that should have piqued my interest. Well, of course, his performance was boosted by the fact that Tyson Chandler only played 11 minutes due to injury. But this dude doubled in 23 minutes. He had 14 points, 11 boards, and 4 blocks, shooting 58% from the field. Really nice game we saw from Allen Williams. Now that we've recapped last night's slate of games, let's go ahead and quickly jump into the player pricing for tomorrow's 9/7 game slate. Now, there's going to be 9 games on the docket for tomorrow. But on the DraftKings site, there's going to be 2 of them that are going to be early games. We're talking about the LA Clippers and the Charlotte Hornets and the Milwaukee Bucks going to Indiana to take on the Pacers. Now, those games are not going to be on the main slate. However, there is going to be a smaller slate that you can definitely look to if you want to get that fantasy fix early. Those games kick off at 5 o'clock. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and jump into the player pricing. We're going to go to create a lineup, make it look like we're creating a lineup. And something I want you to see, man, I show you this all the time. Now, there's a bunch of funky shit going on tomorrow that we can definitely take advantage of. Now, as we can see here, is going to be the complete slate, the 7-game slate that starts at 7 o'clock, right? We've got 2 games in the early. Now, we've got an 8:30 late with 4 games. We've got a 9 p.m. with 3 games. We've got a 7:30 turbo with 2 games. There's a total of 7 games on this main slate that encompass all 4 of these slates right here. The 9 p.m. late, the 9 p.m. later, that's 3 games, the 7:30 turbo, and of course the 7-gamer, the big 7-game slate, the main slate. Make some lineups in the other 3, man, and put them bitches in the main. Trust me, especially if you look at this 8:30 late slate and you see a lot of juicy games in there that you really like. Make a lineup there, man. Stack something there and throw it in the main. So let's go ahead and pull up the 7-game main. We're gonna run through those. And we do this. This is where my initial player pool comes from, because I like to get a read on if I'm going to be playing these guys or not. I can just look at it and say, hey, this is a guy that I'm not going to be on tomorrow. Like right now, I'm looking at it and I see that. All right, so as you can see, James Harden is the highest salaried player on the slate for tomorrow. He's at 12.9K. There is no fucking way I'm paying 12.9K for nobody. I'm not doing it. 7-game slate. There's going to be other places we can roster. I'm not fucking with James Harden tomorrow. The price is too high. I am calling a complete fade on James Harden. I don't care if this is the 24th ranked defense against the shooting guard position. James Harden is probably one of the better players in the league. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting 12.9K into any one person. I'm not doing it. Russell Westbrook in that matchup against the Golden State Warriors, that's going to be a very high energy, high emotion blowout. Don't let that shit fool you. This is a bad team. Oklahoma City Thunder are a bad team, and the Golden State Warriors are a good team. I'm not investing in Russell Westbrook on a bad team playing against a good team. If they were playing another bad team, like they were playing the Cleveland Cavaliers the other night, and they looked pretty bad, of course. But Golden State is not a bad team. They're a very well coached team. The Cleveland Cavaliers aren't a bad team. They're just a poorly coached team because they're coached by LeBron James, who's not a coach. So I do like Giannis tomorrow at 10.5. The price is down a touch on him. It's going to be the same scenario as it was last night. He's going to be called on to lead the team in minutes, to do everything, to get all the rebounds, to score the points, to assist the basketball. He's going to be asked to do everything. And as long as he's in that situation, I think we can take advantage of him at 10.5. I like him. LeBron James at 10.2. We still want to hold out to make sure that all these guys are going to be playing. If that's the case, I think you can look to LeBron James, even though this is the 10th ranked matchup DVP wise against the small forward position. But that's LeBron James. He definitely deserves consideration. Kevin Durant, just put him in your lineups. Everybody, just roster Kevin Durant tomorrow. Understand the narrative. Understand him going back to Oklahoma City Thunder. He's going to want to perform. He's going to want to play well. And whenever you see a player in a spot where he clearly wants to play well, these are world-class athletes. They can do that whenever they want to. Kevin Durant is a really good play tomorrow. Steph Curry at 9.6 is not a play that I'm interested in tomorrow. The only piece of this game that I want is some scrub love and Kevin Durant. And I'm going to figure out who the scrub love is. Isaiah Thomas, 9.2 in a minus matchup against the Utah Jazz. You can keep that. I don't want that. Nikola Jokic, the second-ranked DVP against the center position. But I personally think that Nikola Jokic, he plays too far away from the basket to really let these DVPs affect your rostering him. I like him tomorrow. And I hope that's going to scare people off when they see that second-ranked DVP. But this dude is fucking matchup proof. I think he's a really good spot. Price is down 200. He's at 9K. I'm taking some Nikola Jokic tomorrow. I'm all good with that. Hassan Whiteside, no. I'm not playing Hassan Whiteside tomorrow. 8.5K is too high for what he's been doing. We can definitely attack the Denver Nuggets at the point guard position on the perimeter. Kyrie Irving, the price is up. It was just 7.7. He had a bad game, and it went up to 8.4. I understand that. Kevin Love at 8.2 is not a play that I'm particularly interested in tomorrow. Paul George is in play 8.1. Joel Embiid, he might play. If he does play, I don't like him. The price is 8K. I'm not doing it. Goran Dragic in another really good matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers. 7.9 is the price point. That's still a little high, just like it was last night, but I think we can look to him for that. Gordon Hayward at 7.8. Channing Jay Crowder defense. I'm not too keen on that. Vucevic at 7.6. Ignore what the Dallas DVP against the center position is. I like Vooch tomorrow. Draymond Green is another play that I do like from that Golden State game. I do like him. But I'm just going to be rostering Kevin Durant and let the chips fall from there. Rudy Gobert is a really nice play at 7.4. You know we can attack the Boston Celtics rebound in the basketball. Rudy Gobert is a prime candidate to do that. He's going to be a stud center tomorrow like him. Jeff Teague at 7.3 is not a play I'm particularly interested in tomorrow. Eric Bledsoe going against Patrick Beverly, who we know is a solid defender. And I tried Diaz in Charlotte with Kemba, and I think we're going to see a similar performance that we saw from Kemba against Patrick Beverly when Eric Bledsoe takes the floor tomorrow. So I won't be having Eric Bledsoe there. I do like Wilson Chandler against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 7.2. Small forwards don't have a problem doing well against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jabari Parker, we know he's going to be out. Devin Booker is in play for me at 6.8. I like him there. I like Devin Booker tomorrow at 6.8K. Going up against James Harden defense, I think he can take advantage of that. Dion Waiters is probably going to be out tomorrow, but we want to stay tuned because he might play. Serge Ibaka is a no for me at 6.6. Klay Thompson is a no for me. Harrison Barnes is in play at 6.4K. Vic Oladipo, since I don't want any Westbrook and I might want a piece of this game, once I look at the point totals and see where it sits, if it's a very high point total, I may have interest in Vic Oladipo. If Will Barton is out tomorrow, we can definitely look to, if Gallinari is out again tomorrow, we can definitely look to Will Barton. Evan Fournier coming off of that huge game he had at 6.2. I don't have a problem with that. Al Horford is not in play for me. James Johnson is really not in play for me tomorrow at 6.1 unless we know we're not going to see Dion Waiters. Take another body out of the Miami rotation, and I like James Johnson tomorrow. Steven Adams at 6K is not in play for me against Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't like that. Trevor Ariza is in play at 6K. I kind of like him. George Hill is a player that I do like at 6K if he does get the start. Now, I think I saw a report that said he's not going to be playing. But we'll check up on that for sure. Clint Capella is a play that normally I wouldn't like that play, but if what happened last night in Phoenix with Tyson Chandler forces him to miss time, I think we can look to Clint Capella at 5.9. I like that. Wesley Matthews has been playing really well lately. I like him at 5.9. Robert Covington is not a player that I particularly like. Miles Turner, I think, is in a nice bounce back spot going up against this Milwaukee front court. They're at home. The price is 5.8K. I think Miles Turner can have a decent showing tomorrow. Jay Crowder is questionable. He sat out the last game. I think he does come back to play tomorrow. 5.7 is the price point. I kind of like that there, even though they're against Utah. Pat Beverly is definitely in play at 5.6K. Phoenix gives it up to the point guard position. I like Patrick Beverly tomorrow. Elfrid Payton at 5.5 is not a play that I'm particularly interested in tomorrow. I do like Tyler Johnson at 5.5. Ersan is a no. Yogi is a no. Avery Bradley's probably going to be out, so is Thaddeus Young. Dirk Nowitzki at 5.3. That's an interesting play. I kind of like him there. Eric Gordon, if he plays, I do like him at 5.2. Ryan Anderson is in play at 5.1. Tyson Chandler, we talked about him already. He's questionable for tomorrow. Probably won't play. He just got hurt tonight. Marcus Smart is a no for me. Cantor is out. Gary Harris is in play at 5K. Lil Bruh is dead to me. Malcolm Brogdon, 5K, is in play. I like him tomorrow if he does get the start at the point guard position. TJ McConnell is not a player that I'm interested in. Neither is Nerlens Noel. Derek Favors is somebody we can definitely use to attack the Boston Celtics rebound in the basketball. 5K, the price is still very cheap on him. I like that. TJ Warren went up 100 to 4.9. I don't like him tomorrow. Tristan Thompson is in play for me at 4.9. I like that. Greg Monroe, he should start because, when they came out of the half, Greg Monroe was inserted into the starting lineup. Him and Michael Beasley. And Michael Beasley balled, and he didn't. So I don't think a lot of people want to be on Greg Monroe tomorrow. If he does get the start, I do like him at 4.9K. Kenneth Reed probably won't play tomorrow. Darren Williams probably won't play. Aaron Gordon's questionable, probably won't play. Dario Saric has been playing very well lately, but I don't like him against the Miami Heat. Okafor is a no for me. PJ Tucker deserves consideration at 4.4. If Jameer Nelson is starting against Kyrie defense, I kind of like him tomorrow. We know Emmanuel Moody is probably going to be out. That's why Jameer Nelson started tonight. Devin Harris is a no. Kyle Korver at 4.2. Give me some Kyle Korver at 4.2. I don't mind that, especially if the big three are playing, because the way he scores is spacing. The big three is on the court. They create the spacing and allow him to knock down those jump shots along the perimeter. So I do like him. Mike Beasley at 4.2. Yeah, this price is still kind of cheap. If he's going to be seeing virtually starters minutes, I do like him. Wayne Ellington is a no. CJ Miles at 4.1 does deserve consideration for me. John Henson, 4.1. Yes, he deserves consideration there. Joe Ingles had some really nice games out recently. Don't want him tomorrow at 4.1, but that price was too much. Woody Reed, Rodney Hood, Andre Roberson at 3.9. The price is still cheap on this guy. They don't have a lot of bodies to play. You could look to Andre Roberson tomorrow if you have to. Rodney Magruder at 3.9 is in play for me tomorrow. Shelvin Mack is a no. Andre Iguodala at 3.8. If you want some of that scrub love from that Golden State Oklahoma City game, this game is gonna blow, bro. This game is gonna blow. Golden State's gonna blow them out. They did it the last 2 times. Jamal Murray 3.8 deserves consideration. Jeff Green is a no for me. Dellavedova, if he gets to start, okay, yeah. We already know Chris Middleton is not going to be playing tomorrow, so that takes him off of the court completely. Kelly Olynyk is a no for me. Sean Livingston is a no for me. Sam Decker deserves consideration at 3.7. C.J. Watson, no. Marcus Chris, no. J.J. Barea, no. JaVale McGee, 3.5, no. Brandon Knight, I kind of like that at 3.5. I think we can look to him tomorrow. Darrell Arthur at 3.5 is definitely somebody who I'm going to give consideration to. Alec Burks, yeah, 3.5. We can look to him. Jaylen Brown is a no. Hernan Gomez is a no. And see how the price went up on Mirza Televich? He didn't do shit last night. But just the fact that Jabari Parker is hurt is costing them to run the price up on some of these guys. Mario Hezonja at 3.3 is a no for me. Let's try to find some real value, man. Who's that 3K play of the day? A 3K play that you just think is gonna go off and have a really nice game. I like Sabonis tomorrow at 3K. He's gonna be starting. I like him. Is it probably a point where they're gonna be wanting to go small and run to hang with the Golden State Warriors? I like Sabonis tomorrow at 3K. I think we can look to him definitely. Corey Brewer 3K. Sam Decker had been playing very well lately. We know Dragon Bender is going to be out, so we can look. Yeah, Allen Williams at 3K. If we know that Tyson Chandler is out, Allen Williams, yes, definitely, definitely. Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and jump into the point totals for tomorrow's 7/9 game slate. If you're going to be playing that late slate, I am going to just give you a few quick hits on this when we talk about the point totals, because it's a 2-game early slate, and I'm probably going to get in the midday mix at about 3, maybe 3 o'clock. Tomorrow we're going to be doing that, where we can really chop it up and break it down, man. And I really enjoy those sessions, man. Those are really good. And by the way, if you're watching this, and a lot of guys been telling me since I started the podcast on YouTube. Well, initially, what I wanted to do was do like an iTunes podcast. That's where all this stemmed from. Was I would listen to a lot of good podcasts on iTunes, some not so good. I was listening to them, and I was like, man, I need to do my own podcast. And I tried to figure out the way to do it, and I could not figure it out for the life of me. Asked around, nobody really knew how to get it started. One guy was like, yo, you can start on YouTube, and that's why I'm here on YouTube. But since then, I have figured out how to upload my YouTube podcast to the iTunes store, and it's free, of course. You can go listen to it. Just download the podcast app, and you can go listen to it. It's going to be the DFS Jerusalem. Anything that you put in about fantasy or NBA or whatever, I'll probably pop up. Please, a lot of guys are saying, man, I can't just open up the YouTube app while I'm driving and keep my phone open and it kills my battery, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is still a video podcast on iTunes, but once you close the app or you turn like your phone, the light off of your phone, you'll still be able to hear the audio. So check me out on iTunes. It's the DFS Jerusalem. Of course, the show is the DFS Sweatshop, all things daily fantasy. And once you watch the show, man, like it, rate it, give me 5 stars, put a review, a comment. Let people know how much you enjoy the show. There are almost 4,000 of you. Go and check me out on iTunes. That's where we're going to be at. So let's go ahead and jump into the point total. We're going to start with those 2 early games. Of course, the LA Clippers are going to Charlotte to take on the Hornets. It's not much to say that you don't like about this game, or you can't go certain places in this game, because there's only 2 games on the shorter slate. So you got to go a lot of different spots. And I can tell you, Blake Griffin is going to be in a really nice spot rebounding against Charlotte Hornets. DeAndre Jordan is going to be in a really nice spot. I like Kemba because not just because he's at home, but because he's in a plus matchup against a guy that probably can't stay with him in Raymond Felton and or the coach's son. So I do like Kemba tomorrow. I think Nick Batum is in a really interesting spot. Now you gotta remember that JJ Redick is a harassing defender. He's not bad at defense. He's not. He's really not. I mean, he can stay with anybody. He's a very quick guy, very smart player. So you can curb your enthusiasm, I would say, when it comes to Nick Batum. Also, you probably want to go deep on either one of these benches. Somebody like Jeremy Lamb, Marco Bellinelli is going to be in play. Frank Kaminsky, Cody Zeller probably will get the start at the center position. So there's a few places you can go in this game. Of course, Jamal Crawford is going to be on the other side of the ball, as well as, of course, we talked about Raymond Felton. We talked about the coach's son. So there's a lot of plays in this game. I would stack the shit out of this game as a part of that early 2 game slate. That would be the direction that I would go in if I'm trying to attack the slate in the early portion. So the next game we're going to talk about is a 213 point total. This is the Indiana Pacers at home taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Now this completes that 2 game early, and you got to get you some Giannis. He's going to be in a really good matchup. I think every matchup is going to be good for him because there's just nobody else that's going to be able to score the basketball and do everything that he has to do in order to keep this team afloat and relevant for the time being. So we can definitely look to him. Michael Beasley is going to be in the fold. Be sure to look out to see if Greg Monroe is going to be starting. He started the second half, like I talked about earlier. Jeff Teague is not really in play for me. He probably will be my lone fade on this early 2 game slate. The only guy that I probably would not have any ownership to, the only marquee name that I wouldn't have any ownership with, is probably going to be Jeff Teague. I do like Paul George in this spot. We talked about Kevin Seraphin and how he's coming off of the bench and playing really good minutes. With Thaddeus Young out, we need to check up on that and make sure he's not going to be playing. So there's a few nice spots to go in both of these games. Go ahead, stack a little lineup, throw it in there. I don't have any problem with that. Next game I'm going to talk about, and the first game on the slate is going to be the Miami Heat going to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers, coming off a really nice win. The Sixers are the home dog. They are receiving 3.5 points from the Miami Heat. The Heat are on a really good, tremendous win streak right now. The point total is 206 DraftKings points. And I got to tell you, I like Goran Dragic again. The price is still up on him at 7.9K, but I think he can return that investment. I think he's going to do so at lower ownership based on what happened last night. We can also look to James Johnson. I like him, even though Robert Covington is a really good wing defender. He's a really good wing defender. I still think James Johnson has become such a major part of this offense, especially with them really not believing in what Whiteside is bringing to the table right now. Because he, of course, but believing in a player is going to show in the minutes you give him. And give a guy that's that talented 25 minutes, it kind of tells me what you're thinking. So approach him with much caution tomorrow. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Denver Nuggets going to Cleveland to take on the Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers are giving up 12 points to the Denver Nuggets in this game. Now, I don't know if the Cleveland Cavaliers know, but they ain't been playing pretty good basketball lately. And I don't know why they're giving them 12 points. That must be telling me all of the guys are going to play. If that's the case, I'm stacking them. I'm stacking the big three. And I'm going to try to fit somebody from Denver in there too. Wimby Wilson, Chandler, Will Barton. I'm stacking Cleveland tomorrow. That's going to be the way that I'm approaching that. It's a 230-point total, the highest point total on the slate. So I really like that game specifically tomorrow. We're talking LeBron, Kyrie, Love, Tristan, and Will Barton. If Danilo Gallinari is out, that's the way I'm going to attack that tomorrow. Jameer Nelson could be a solid play if he does get the start at point guard going up against Kyrie defense. So I kind of do like him. But let's not get too lost in the fact that it's a high point total because the spread does say it's 12 points. Next game I'm going to talk about, the 8:30 game, is going to be the Golden State Warriors going to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. Now they're trying to, amp this game up and hype this game up. Oh man, this is loyalty, respect, little keywords that are on the TV. Loyalty, respect, honesty, trust, violated by Kevin Durant. No, they're trying to make that shit all theatrical and shit. But let me tell you something, man. The Oklahoma City Thunder is a bad motherfucking team. Yeah, they got a really good player on that badass team, but they a bad fucking team. And the Golden State Warriors gonna blow their ass out. The Golden State is only giving up 6.5 to Oklahoma City. I take that 6 with the quickness, cause they gonna beat the shit out of them. They gonna beat them like a drum. Kevin Durant might drop 100 piece tomorrow, and that's why I really do like Kevin Durant. I don't like too much of anybody else off of the Golden State side as far as the starters are concerned. Maybe some Andre Iguodala off of the bench, but I can tell you now, I'm locking KD in quite a few of my lineups, and I'm playing no Russell Westbrook at 12K plus. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to play. I know he's going to come out motivated and wanting to play, but that price is just too high on a 7-game slate where I can find somebody else to do what I think he can do as far as hitting that 6x value or 7x in some cases. Next game I'm going to talk about is another blowout. And this actually is the highest point total on the slate. It is the Phoenix Suns on a back-to-back going to Houston to take on the Rockets. It's a 231.5 point total with the Houston Rockets giving up 13.5 points. That is a ton of points to give up to a team, man. And I just don't know if the Houston Rockets are in tune right now enough to just blow the doors off of this Phoenix team. So there's a couple of guys on the Phoenix side that I do like. I would steer clear of Eric Bledsoe going up against Patrick Beverley defense, but I like Trevor Booker. Shooting guards play very well against James Harden. I do like Devin Booker tomorrow. I think we can look to Allen Williams if we know we're not going to be seeing Tyson Chandler. That's for the cheap. And I think T.J. Warren deserves consideration as well. Coming off a couple of good games in a row, he can put another good game or two together right before the All-Star break. On the Houston side, I probably will not have any Harden at all. The price is just too high on him. It's not like it's a 4-game slate where you got to just pick a stud and kind of stack and roster around him. I can cherry pick on this slate and do what I want to do, and I don't want to roster nobody that's above 12K. That's what I'm just not going to do it. Back to the Houston side, Ariza's in play. Beverly's probably one of my favorite point guard players on the slate. I like him tomorrow against Eric Bledsoe. He's going to see a lot of defensive usage because Bledsoe sees a lot of offensive usage. So I think that can work in Beverly's favor. Also, Trevor Ariza looks pretty good in this matchup, as well as Ryan Anderson. We can definitely attack them rebounding the basketball with Clint Capella. So there's a lot on the Houston side that I do like. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Orlando Magic going to Dallas to take on the Mavericks. This is one of the lowest point totals on the slate. It's a 204 point total, with the Dallas Mavericks being a home favorite, giving up 6 points to the Orlando Magic. There's not too much to like about this game altogether. I think Dirk Nowitzki can be interesting. Harrison Barnes is definitely a player that I'm kind of considering. On the Orlando side, I like Vucevic. I don't care that the DVP against centers for the Dallas side is like one of the best in the league. I still like Vuce tomorrow. Also, I think we can look to Evan Fournier in a lot of spots. So there's a couple good plays from this game that we can take and use tomorrow, but not a lot because we got some really juicy matchups, some really solid narratives going on in the earlier games. Last game on the slate, the 10 o'clock game, the late night hammer game, is going to be the Boston Celtics going to Utah to take on the Jazz. This is, of course, the lowest point total on the slate. It is a 203.5 point total, with the Utah Jazz giving up 5 points to the Boston Celtics. Now, I'm not sure if the Utah Jazz can give the Celtics any points. I'm not sure, because the Boston might go in there and beat them straight up. Even though they're not playing particularly well lately, they've got one of the better point guards in the league in Isaiah Thomas. We might not see George Hill tomorrow, so the primary handling of the ball, most cases, is going to go to Gordon Hayward. So that means we're going to see an increased defensive usage for Jay Crowder if he plays. So I like Jay Crowder more than I like Gordon Hayward. I love Rudy Gobert in the spot. He's going to be the center that I probably lock in a lot of my lineups. I want to attack the Boston Celtics rebounding the basketball. There's 2 ways to do it: Gordon Hayward as well as Derek Favors. So I have no problem with doing both of those. I don't like Al Horford on the Boston side. I really don't like Isaiah Thomas in this very slow-paced matchup. If the game is in Boston, it'd be different. But the fact that the game's in Houston, man, and they slow the ball down so much at home that I'm not going to have any shares of Isaiah Thomas tomorrow. So this has been your DFS Jerusalem. Of course, follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Check out the iTunes podcast, man. It's really dope. We're moving in the next direction, man. Things are growing. I'm so happy about all of the things that we've been able to do so far, and things that are going to happening going down the road. So, if you would like to support the show even more than you already are, there's a box over there that says support the show. Go ahead and click that, and let it take you where it needs to take you. Also, you can definitely hit up my personal PayPal at SimmonsMaurice95 at yahoo.com. If you'd like to cop you some DFS Sweatshop swag, don't forget the link's going to be in the bottom of the video. Go ahead and check that stuff out. And do not forget to hashtag me Sweatshop swag with your highest FanDuel or DraftKings points. You got to have the logo, you got to hashtag me, and you got to be a high score. Send me those on Twitter. And at the end of the week, Sunday, I will announce who is this week's Sweatshop swag giveaway winner. Also, if you would like to join the DFS Sweatshop family, go to the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That's where you will receive all of the tools and tutelage that will prepare you to be a profitable daily fantasy sports player. After that, you will be ushered into the Facebook group. That's where the real magic goes down. That's where it all happens, man. Everything goes down in the Facebook group. So go ahead, hop on the website, become a member, join the family, and let's go out and keep it 300.